This is the same game 12 months apart. Welcome, my name is Sam Claydon. I'm creating the Calcium Crusader 64. In this video, we're going to be looking at two different builds of my game. One from 2025 and another from this week in 2026. This is the initial build of the Calcium Crusader. 1 year ago from this week, I believe. This was leading up to the event last year, GDLX, which I am actually showcasing at this year as well. So the game initially started in the afterlife, in like a limbo area, and then you get into the real world when you get brought back to life. So here is just the initial area and sort of the tutorial of how to move. One thing to note is the player is incredibly slow. The movement is incredibly slow. Anyway, let's jump and see what the game looks like now. And here we are. This is jumping into the Calcium Crusader 64 from yesterday. This is the build from yesterday. So you have the little intro section. I'm not showing it off completely yet. But here we go. We're in the woods. And yeah, I think I'm so happy with how it looks now. Even the model of the Calcium Crusader just looks so much more refined. It just looks like the character I've been drawing for, well, about a year and a half now. I just want to talk about the wooded area of both games. So this one has like NPC icons for dialogue, which wasn't actually, I don't think it was fully in the original build. But yes, we're going to move back on over to Calcium Crusader 2025. The environment has obviously taken a massive turn. The Globlets were in this demo, if you can see there. But yeah, it's a very different feel to the game. It's a lot slower, but it's nice to delve into this build and see what the game was like a year ago today. It has come a long way. In this build, essentially, a Globlet gets locked up in jail in like a little prison cell in the Devil King's holiday home, and you essentially have to try and save the Globlet. Okay, this is a new area of the game. Hello, Mr. Skeleton. As you can see, I am a ghost. You can ask me anything. I'm very transparent, but please don't. So these are the ghosties in the game. They haven't replaced the Globlets. The Globlets have just like they're at a later point in the game. So this is just like essentially the first 10 minutes of the gameplay. And now I've got like bats in the game with waypoints, and everything's just really optimized and works a lot nicer. But as you can see, the movement of the Calcium Crusader is a lot faster, which I'm really happy with. And yeah, this is the introduction of one of the new characters, the Coin Collector. He's essentially going to be like this weird, sort of like all-knowing character that's going to help you out throughout your journey. So this section of the game, you're learning how to move and how to traverse different environments and jump. The jumping is incredibly slow and looks a little buggy, and I love that flying animation that falling animation is very interesting. So with the Calcium Crusader back a year ago, this was very much a sort of testing the ideas of how I want the character to actually move around the environments. This build is, I can't lie, the movement is very slow. I know I've said it before, but he's a very slow little skeleton. Also, the scaling of different materials is very much fixed in the build this year. It's so interesting to see like how different the game looks, and how much more is in the game now. Even like the UI was obviously using like the template model that I've obviously built the game on. Yes, alright, before we get into the dungeon, I'm going to move on over to this year. We're heading into Dead End. Dead End is a little graveyard. You can meet loads of little ghosties. I've now got items spawning in the game. Obviously that bush didn't have anything in him, but it could have coins, it could have milk, because the Calcium Crusader essentially gains his health back by drinking cartons of milk. Here we are, so welcome to Dead End. And you can basically talk to any of these ghosties. They'll help you out, they'll give you some context towards the story. So now we're going on to the mountain trail. Up we go. And I'm really happy with the bats in this game. I don't know if they go in flocks, so I might have to change if it's like a bunch of bats together. I don't think bats fly in flocks of bats. I need to do my research on the bats. As you can see, even the vines in this game, even though it's the same texture, the scaling just suits it a lot better. So what we're going to do now, before we get up this mountain and into the Temple of Ghouls, we're going to look at the dungeon layout of the build a year ago, and we are in. So that is the Globlet that's obviously stuck in this demo. He's in a skeleton of trouble. I can only apologise, but he helps you out. He's giving you some advice on where to go and how to save him. Also, you have like interactable things like poems that could be littered throughout the game. I'm not entirely sure if I'll keep that. I would love to have it in the like future places in the game. Lots of interactable elements. But yes, this is the main section of the dungeon. If anyone remember that, if anyone's seen any of my games at the expos that I've showcased at, I hope you enjoyed playing it. There's a lot of things wrong with this dungeon. Everything was built very it wasn't really optimized at all. Some of the camera, there was some camera issues as well, but it was a good sign of where the game was going to go. The direction of the game was very much set in stone at this point in time. But there was lots of different interconnecting rooms, and a tiny little puzzle. I'm looking at that landing animation and it's interesting. So he's got the key. This dungeon will be repurposed for the game when I finally start working on some of the dungeon layouts. Yes, this is probably one of the. I think this was the first thing I ever actually made for the game, was this dungeon, because it was very much. I knew the game was going to be sort of inspired by The Legend of Zelda, so testing out a dungeon idea was my first idea to progress with the development. Okay, so this is sort of the end of the demo. We're going to move on to the Temple of Ghouls. Okay, and we are back in the latest build of the Chaosium Crusader 64. We're heading up to the Temple of Ghouls, which is the final piece of the puzzle of the tutorial section of the game. The music's in development at the moment, but I was sort of trying to make it a bit like the Temple of Time music, bit eerie, bit intriguing. So here you go. You speak to the coin collector, and they give you a special quest. Welcome, skeleton. People call me the bridge between life and death. To you, I am the coin collector. Do you wish to know your past? The Devil Kingdom is a tough and dangerous place for any mortal being. Okay, I clicked through that very quickly. He's given us something. Oh, he's given us a key. So what we can do with this key is go down to a certain place in Dead End. Going back down to Dead End, you can now open the church. So this was a sort of like a fetch quest. It was very much inspired by Pokemon Red and Blue, when you have to go and collect the Professor Oak's parcel. And yes, this is us walking towards a special painting. So here we go. Before you lies a painting of the Heavenly Queen. Time has passed and the paint is faded. You feel connected to this person, but how? Did you know them in your past life? I don't know. Did you? You must return to the Temple of Ghouls and talk to the coin collector. Okay, so I don't want to spoil the entire demo, but this is very much like a nice way to sort of see the development process of the game. Thank you very much for watching. Do you like the improvement of the game? I'm very intrigued to hear all your thoughts about the Chaosium Crusader 64. It's been a long year creating the game, and I've got a long way to go, but I really enjoy the process of creating the game, and I hope you enjoy watching me talk about the game online. If you enjoyed watching this video, consider subscribing and giving the video a like. I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much for your time. See you soon. Bye bye. Bye bye.